Music talk table. Feed your heart, feed your mind, feed your soul. Music talk table. Feed your heart, feed your mind, feed your soul.
With Tshila and Libya.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to yet another edition of Music Talk Table. My name is Tshila. I'm a musician and software engineer and artist in general, among so many other things. And I'm here today with my friend,
Libya, Pugh. I am also an artist, specifically a performing artist trained in theater, television, some television and film. I'm also a vocalist, a recent yoga instructor, and an educator.
Do you back up the files?
Every day. She kept a flash drive in her bag.
she's a badass, basically. So yes, today we're here with another topic for you guys. And our weekly topic for today is A Black Woman Speaks. I'm a Black woman, Libya is a Black woman, so we have some, speaking to do, as we always do. We never run out of what to say. So yes, Libya, you have something prepared for our introduction today, just to get people into a little bit of what we're trying to say.
Yes, I want to
get into it.
I want to give a reference to A Black Woman Speaks, a bit of the history of this title. It comes from Bea Richards. Bea Richards was an actress, and I guess was coming to dinner with Sidney Poitier back in the 50s. And she wrote this to it was a white women group in Chicago who had a poetry contest. And she decided to write this poem called A Black Woman Speaks of White Womanhood and White Supremacy. So I'm going to read to you an excerpt of this poem from Bea Richards' 1951 speech in Chicago. A Black woman speaks of white womanhood, what gives her the right. Slavery, lynching, etc. have to do with white women. Would like to speak of it as it will and should be. What is that? When white womanhood stands for equality, but it is not there yet. Why? Still a superiority thing and a need to separate for their own validation. This is taught to them by white supremacists. White womanhood, slavery too, only to a different degree. Now, this is just a portion of the 10 poems excerpt that she did of the total. And it's really, as you can see, about the whole theme of this is womanhood and white supremacy, and about how white male supremacy has trapped both races of women to a different degree. And she makes these comparisons so beautifully in this poem. So I would encourage you to go and see her performances. Is actually on YouTube. Okay. Bea Richards. So this is what our conversation's around today.
Wow.
It's inspired by that.
Wow.
So we felt like this topic was very important to us because we are Black women, and we also feel that femininity is a very important. Black femininity is a very important part of the totality of being a woman. So Tshila, I'm going to start off by asking you, why is Black femininity so important in our society?
That's a big one, because one, it has Black women in it, but then at the same time, it also, I wanted to delve into Black women's femininity. So first, what is femininity? Well, femininity is one of a polar duality. There's yin yang, there's so much duality in the universe, and this is one of the dual aspects of being. You can either be on the masculine side or on the feminine side. What is femininity? As opposed to masculinity, femininity is softness, intuition, nurturing, creativity, going with the flow, flexibility, patience, love, movement, grace, as opposed to, say, with masculinity in dual polar opposite terms. And this has nothing to do with man versus woman. It's just masculinity versus femininity. And in that sense, masculine is more hard, more rules and structures and logic-based and steady and like a rock, almost brittle, productive, like overtly so in some cases, and it has more of its center in the actual upper body of our manifestation, and as opposed to femininity that's more in the lower body, where you have reproduction, hips, movement. So that's just to give like a loose definition of it. Of course, there's so many different theories, but just a general definition of what femininity is that. And I like to quote something that says, give a woman anything and she will multiply it, both good and bad. I believe femininity deals with the manifested and manifesting stuff, creation of life. Give a woman a house, she'll turn it into a home. Give a woman ingredients, she'll make a meal. Give a woman sperm, she'll make a baby. Give a woman anything and she'll multiply it. Whatever you're giving a woman, she will give back to you. And also, if you give her crap, you'll have hell on earth. So just
a lot of men can relate to that you just said. You give her crap, you better get ready, buddy. Get ready.
Yeah, you better get ready. So, so the reason I wanted to highlight femininity is actually in opposition to masculinity, where if you take like gender roles, or say, gender roles being like loosely, it could be any, it doesn't have to be heterosexual, but just the roles within, having protection and providing and survival and security catered for by the masculine. When it comes to Black women, there has been so many things that have created heavy masculinity within the Black woman due to no fault of their own, that has made Black women transform back into being protectors, providers, in charge of survival and security and things that were traditionally in the evolution of the species assigned to the masculine. So
your perspective as an African woman, how has that been parallel living in America? Are there differences, similarities?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So so we have different ways in which Black women have been forced into that role. For Africans, it was through colonization, and for African Americans, it was through slavery. So these are forces that, really heavily depended on Black labor. So if you look at slavery and Black labor, it was indiscriminate. It doesn't matter if you're a child, a woman, or man. Black people were looked at just as a source of labor. And as slavery went out, some of these perceptions and mental norms remained. So Black women in many cases are still looked at as a source of labor. Yeah, so I actually do believe that, as Black women, we've embraced so many things that bring us closer and closer to a scale of being accepted, and that's where you have things like colorism within the Black community. Not only do Black women value themselves more if they're lighter on the spectrum, but also being valued by Black men or other members of the community more as they're lighter, even say in Hollywood or in the music industry. The lighter on the spectrum, the higher your chances of success. Not to say that there haven't been exceptions to the rule. There have been people that have managed to escape this, but they've spoken about it, like Viola Davis, like Lupita Nyong'o, standing up there and being like, I am this skin tone and there's nothing wrong with it. God, like treat us as one of the, we exist and we have feelings and we are valid and we are the original woman.
Right.
Actually, probably the original human being.
The Eve gene.
And then there's the Eve gene, which was discovered in a Black woman. So yeah, it also gets into things like, with health, you're not believed by doctors, you struggle to get them to see you as a human being sometimes. What do you think?
You know, this is connected to our past, right? That there was a time in the 18th and 19th century, and still even today, where Black women's bodies were tested because they felt that, like animals, because they weren't given full human percentage, that they felt much like an animal because an animal couldn't talk. When they passed out from the pain, they would operate and use Black women's bodies as an experiment. And we saw that practice continue throughout during slavery. The slave Black women bodies, the slaves were being used. Sarah Bartman, Saartjie Baartman, who was the Venus Hottentot, whose body was bottled and put in museums by doctors. That she actually, and she was this is an intelligent woman. Like, she actually spoke 4 languages. These are the stories that people don't know. So this goes all the way back through centuries of Black women's bodies being experimented. Hella cell, Henrietta Lacks, and the taking of her cell and using it as experiment to cure all of these diseases and not letting the family know and having the nerve to name it after her. So all of this ties into the idea that Black women are immune to pain. And so when we go into the doctors, I've had those experiences. I'm like, is this like, why does no one care about me?
I think that is a general. Yeah, I think that is a general perception from society. Even in Africa, Black women are seen, there's always this stereotype of the strong Black woman, the angry Black woman. All these are very emasculated ways in which we are viewed. How can we be viewed to be stronger than men as far as like being able to take pain and things like that?
Feed your soul.
Tshila has a song that she's going to share, a cover. This is the first time we're hearing the cover on this show from Tshila, and she chose Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry. How does this relate to the topic of A Black Woman Speaks, Tshila? Why is this song?
I have so many songs of my own that I wanted to do that really tie into this subject, but I find that song very healing. Like, no, the words themselves, don't cry, woman. I feel like Bob Marley wrote that song for a Black woman.
All right, everybody, let's enjoy Tshila's version of No Woman, No Cry.
Say, I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Trenchtown, observing them hypocrites as they would mingle with the good people with me. Good friends we had, good friends we lost, yeah, along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So I say, dry your tears right now. Yeah. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Dear little darling, don't shed no tear. No, no woman, no cry. Say, I remember when we used to sit, yeah, in the government yard in Trenchtown. Oh yeah, and we cook cornmeal porridge, yeah, of which I'll share with you. Ooh. 'Cause my shield is my only courage. So I know that I've got to push on through. But while I'm gone, let me tell you something. Everything's gonna be alright. 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 Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright. No woman, no cry. No cry. No woman, no cry. Dear little darling, don't
That was an amazing rendition of No Woman, No Cry. I love that song. I love the words. I love the way you play it. I love that you're a guitarist and you're acoustic. It just fits so perfectly into what we're talking about today. And it's just a thank you for your beautiful music and sound. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So, what has society told you about who you are and what you should be?
Yeah. Society, being in a black form as a black woman, oftentimes you forget what you look like because you're not walking around looking in the mirror. So you see the reflection. And one of the things I see is Black women can be considered as mules of society, like Zora Neale Hurston mentioned in her books. And I didn't understand it when I was reading Zora at the time. And I also see this over-sexualized exploitation of the Black body in different races. So what I'm hearing and seeing is Black women are hard workers. I'm also hearing Black girl magic. They can work miracles. This is recent. And I'm hearing Black women are beautiful and Beyonce, she's a queen. And I'm like, well, what am I? Where do I fit? It's like all those images for me weren't acceptable.
Right.
I remember growing up and my experience was much like The Bluest Eye. By the way, I was in The Bluest Eye. I played Claudia in Toni Morrison's book turned play.
Oh wow.
And that experience of trying to find my identity through a white lens by looking at magazines that did not represent me, seeing images constantly that did not represent me. And then I remember Charlie's Angels and wanting to be one of the Charlie's Angels. And the one with the darkest hair was the one that none of the Black girls wanted to be. It was the one that the white girls didn't want to be. They wanted to be the blonde. They wanted to be Farrah Fawcett. I wanted to be Farrah Fawcett. I wanted to be Jacqueline. What's her name? Jacqueline. And then there was another one, I don't even know her name, and she was the one no one wanted to be.
I only know the Charlize Theron version. I don't even know the.
And Lucy Liu, they remade it, right?
Yes, different generation.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, but that's a whole other story. But it was supposed to be actually a Black woman in there, but she was told she was too pretty. But you can go look that up. She was told
she was too pretty.
Told she was too pretty to be next to this woman because you're going to outshine her on camera. So we're going to have to make you look, ugly.
Yeah, that's so conflicting. It's like, oh, we want your features, we want your lips, we want your butt, but we don't want you. We don't want the skin color. We're just gonna pick and choose what we want from you.
We're gonna pick and choose. We don't want your nappy hair, and that's been another huge thing for me is hair. And a lot of Black women can relate to this as an actress, just going into auditions, going, what do they want? What kind of Black woman do they want? Do they want this kind of Black woman?
What kind of Black woman do they want?
You know what I mean? And it's great to know that there's a variety, but it's like the variety comes in forms of which kind of maid do they want? What kind of nurse do they want?
That's not variety.
Do they want? Well, that's the only variety sometimes. Now, I have to admit that in my theater career, I have had a variety of roles that I played. But one that when I look back, Tshila, to my 35 performances or more, I don't remember often having a white woman be my maid or my or my sidekick when I have actually been that so often is the sidekick or the maid. And what does that tell me? What does that tell me? Society sees me as a maid. Society sees me as a servant. Society sees me as a helper. Society sees me as a magic Negro. And I'm more than that. And my narrative and my story is much broader. So what I've had to do is I create my own and define my own identity. And sometimes that comes in fantasy. Sometimes it comes in, I'm a superhero. Sometimes it comes in superhero. So I'm going to create my own superhero. And though things have changed and we do see different images, like we see Regina King playing a superhero in, what is it?
That's my favorite, Watchmen.
Watchmen. And then we got the Black Lightning and we're seeing these superhero families. And so things are changing, but they can change a lot more. And these images that these young girls are seeing, like in The Bluest Eye, like Claudia's character or Cola's character, that Toni Morrison was talking about, she wanted blue eyes because she did not see herself as beautiful because society wasn't telling her that she was beautiful because of her features. So that is what I see, and I wanted to change. So we got to make these opportunities for Black women to tell our stories, and that's what we're doing here.
Feed your soul.
Earlier, I had wanted to ask you, like, in an African American society, the absence of fathers and the prison complex, and how, can you speak on that as an African American woman?
Absolutely, yes. You have a legal penal system involved now. It's not slavery, it's after slavery. And now, once again, the Jim Crow laws are in the slave systems and the penal system, and the men are filling up the jails. And so the lack of a father around for a female, not to see what a man is actually supposed to be. And then sometimes often when you get those figures, and I'm not saying that there are Black men out there who are wonderful fathers, and I know many of them, my brother included, he's a wonderful father to his daughter, and a lot of men are. But there are men who may have many daughters, many families, and the responsibility just kind of dwindles, and who is left to take care of them? Big mama, grandma, everybody got a big mama, even Madea, right? Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry made a whole career on Madea, because everybody can relate to what it's like for a Black woman to raise the baby, the grandbaby, the great grandbaby, and where does that come from?
What does that do to a woman?
What does that do to the psyche of a woman, to the physical, the health of a woman?
The mental health too.
Mental health of a woman, the stress. Right now. What about you, Tshila? Coming from Uganda, how has experience of it? Has there been a lack of representation of men in households?
Yeah, yes. And for us, it's due to, a combination of so many forces: colonialism, globalization, imperialism, religion. So many different things have combined to make Black women feel like they, one, that it's put them in a position where they have to be the heads of the household. When you go to the markets, it's the women who are hustling day in, day out, growing the crops, selling them in the market, taking care of the kids, getting water from the well to feed the kids, and so on and so forth. And some of that burden then even goes down to the children. Instead of being children in their fully fledged form, they end up having to raise the younger ones. And that's in so many African households.
Feed your soul.
So Libya, I'm so excited for the song that you have for us today and how it really ties into our theme. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? And I know you're doing Feeling Good by Nina Simone, right?
What it says to me is that I want to be free just like everybody else. I want to go to sleep when the day is done and have peace in my soul, knowing that I am free to be who I am without anybody's limitations on who I am. So for me, this song is about Mother Nature and connecting to that as a Black woman and finally flying free. That's it, Tshila.
Yes, everybody enjoy Libya's version of I'm Feeling Good by Nina Simone.
Feed your soul.
This is an improvisational freestyle of Feeling Good, inspired by Nina Simone and my whatever comes out of my mind. Enjoy. Please join in. A little beat now. You can hum yourself. Do some clapping. Bird flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Come on. Good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterfly out having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this whole world is a new world and a bold world for me, and I'm feeling good. I need to work on this. Ooh, I like it though. Ooh, what's next? Stars shining bright, you know how I feel. Oh, scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Come on, snap. Good. I need to drink this water and good. Keep it up. Come on, people. With rhythm. I'm gonna drink now and keep snap. See, do it. Let's choke. Percussion. Hope I got the beat. Take it back a verse from the star. Come on, sing it with me. If you know it. Clap a beat. Stars shining bright, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, I know how I feel. It's an old world and a new world, but a bold world for me, and I'm feeling good. And I hope I'm in key. It's an old world, but a new world, and a bold world for me. I'll work on that. And I'm feeling good. That was very dramatic, and I gotta work on that high end, but I've been singing all day, and I thank you for letting me use this time to practice and rehearse and bring you some a cappella rehearsal time in my apartment. Oh, thank you.
Feed your soul.
My goodness, that was amazing. Thank you, Libya, so much for sharing your talent. I love her voice. I love how she does the song. I really wanted her to share it with the world. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Tshila.
Feed your soul.
Tshila, how would the world look if Black women were actually allowed to be free and have opportunities to show what their true potential is?
Oh my goodness. It's like you're speaking to me personally, you know. Somebody once asked Nina Simone what freedom looks like, and she answered, freedom is the lack of fear. So as a Black woman, I am so afraid of so many forces, not just from, you know, my community and from the patriarchy, but also from the world at large. You know, on a scale of importance, you know, we fall really far below, and those are all things that we have to be fearful of in our daily lives. So that's one of the things. And then if you're allowed to be feminine, you just really get into your creativity and you add a lot of solutions to the world. If you look at Africa and how Africa is growing, most of the, you know, the economic progress is coming from like groups of women in villages that are pooling their resources together. That's what's helping the continent grow. So imagine the power that's in Black women. And then in America, you see that Black women are the actual creators of culture. People want to talk the way Black women talk. They want to use the slang that Black women use. They want to, and you see a lot of people doing this, and you're like, you just want to take that part of who I am, but you don't want anything to do with me. So imagine if we were fully understood, because I feel as a Black woman that we are so misunderstood. We're not allowed to fully thrive in ourselves. We're just constantly misunderstood. I am personally always misunderstood. And that would really, it's a lot. But I feel like within us is the core of change. And a lot of the change that's going to come through in the world is going to come from Black women. That's for sure. What do you think?
Well, I'm a Black woman, so I'm in agreement. And I think these solutions.
Snap. I'm going to put snaps on that.
And I want to, in this, we're also going to leave. This is solutions here. We're not just talking. We're actually giving you solutions on how to help. We're going to list some Black businesses and Black-owned businesses. Some of them may not be selling specific Black products. So Black-owned doesn't necessarily mean it's specific to Black people. Right. And there are, I wish I had it here to show, but a friend sent me little Black girls with afros, and his mother, they're both white, and she's like, I want to help out, and I'm going to donate to Black women and donate. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is what is happening in the world today. So we're going to leave all of these women. I have actually purchased, and I love all of their products. So we're going to leave those for you at the end of this to go out and support Black women.
Please support them. Actually, Black women are the leading social group in America in terms of creating businesses. They are the leading group. So, help support your mothers, support your daughters, support the Black community if you're not a member of it. Just help us be able to exist freely in this world without any fear of being who we authentically are. Just as beautiful, wholesome, rich, and as varied in colors as we were created. And just, yes, we're so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much.
For this platform. Everybody who's tuning in and listening to A Black Woman Speaks, thank you all so very much. My name is Libya Pugh, and this is...
My name is Tshila. Yes.
And you can find us on all social platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, you name it, we're out there. It's just a click away. Go to our YouTube, go to our Facebook, like our page, or subscribe. It will be very helpful. We're trying to create a base because we really want to keep this going. So help us out and do that for us. Thank you so much. Tshila, any last words?
Thank you so much, you guys. Actually, we need to mention to you that our next Talk Table is going to be featuring a concert that we're going to be doing for Music Fest in Pennsylvania. So Libya is going to be there with me, and we're going to film a bunch of different things for you guys. We're going to show you what it's like on our next Talk Table. So it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So we'll see you soon.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye.